My name is Elena Tomilovich and I'm a student. I need to inform you that this is educational video and it's an educational project. I'm not a professional, and if there is any question you don't wish to answer, you don't have to. And I cannot give you any advices or analyze your answers. This video will be viewed by professor and possibly by class. I have to remind that I want to make a strong effort to conceal your identity, and this video for educational purpose only. For this video we need to cover three parts of human development: psychological changes, cognitive changes, and social emotional changes. And my first question is, how old are you?
63.
Wonderful. I'm 43, so I make that effort. You're 10 years older than me. Thank you. Okay, so do you feel physically the same as you were like 10 years ago? 20, like about like my age, a little bit later?
I feel I'm in my early to mid 50s versus 63.
Good.
You know, still have the energy, still have the drive to do what I want to do.
Wonderful. What do you feel like something actually changed or not?
In what way?
In physically, like for example, how you get up early morning. Do you feel the same energy, or you more tired right now than you were 10 years ago?
Okay, as far as getting up in the morning, no change. I find that I may get a little tired, a little more tired towards the evening than I did 10 years ago. But with, with 20 minutes of rest, it's like starting all over again.
Yeah, I know. How about food? How about do you feel like your taste change, or amount of food you can consume will it change or not?
The amount of, as far as my taste, I have a very eclectic taste. I eat foods from all over the world, different cultures. It just depends on where I am and what I'm in the mood for. The amount of food that I eat is probably 75%, quantity-wise, weight-wise, as far as the amount of food I would eat in a day, I've cut back, yes.
How about alcohol consumption?
The only alcohol I drink is a glass of wine if I'm out having dinner, or if I cook dinner and I have people over, then I'll have a glass of wine, but that's it.
But when you, compared to you
10 years ago?
10,
20 years ago? 20 years ago, I would say I would have 2 glasses, maybe 3 in a night, with dinner. But I've never been, it's not something that has ever been a issue or something that I've, put a lot of emphasis on. So at one time I used to drink tequila. I don't drink that anymore. I drink wine.
Thank you. Okay. What has been the most significant change you have experienced over the last 10, 15 years?
Physical changes you're
Physical,
talking about?
yes, we are talking about the physical right now.
Wear and tear on my body. I don't heal as fast. I have a tendency to strain or injure myself, you know, with using less force than I would have back then. Yeah. But whatever it is, I don't let it control me.
Yeah. I know you had a surgery.
Knee surgery.
Knee surgery, yeah, and it like and you had some surgery before that also.
I've had 2 knee surgeries, shoulder surgery, ankle surgery, and other surgeries.
Yeah.
But
recover now it's take a longer time.
yes.
Okay. About cognitive changes. Do you feel like your memory is same as it was 10, 15 years ago, or you notice some changes?
I don't know if I would call it changes, but things that are not important, I don't concentrate on, so I let them slide. I don't think about them. And you know, if I really need to remember something that wasn't important, it takes a little more thought to you know, set the clock back and look at it, depending on what it was associated with. But as far as regular memory, no. You know, on a daily basis, you know, I really, you know, I can go back. I can remember back to I was a year and a half, 2 years old. You know, I want to go back to being 5 again and know what I know.
Okay. The other question is problem solving. Does it change your
Problem solving. It depends on what the problem is. Depends on how important the problem is. And if it's a problem that I have to face myself, if it's about me, I don't have you know, it's something I have a set direction on. But if it has to do with friends or family or something like that there, I kind of put more energy into it to solve the problem because it's not me, you know, and but I don't see any deterioration in my ability to solve the problems at all. No.
Okay. How about changes in decision making? Like, are you slow it or you make it faster than 10, 15 years ago?
Actually, 15 years ago, I think I took more time to decide, to make a decision about something, because I looked at the future. Well, you know, I've got all this time to accomplish this stuff. I'm 15 years older, so it's like 15 years ago I was concentrating on buying a house, you know. Now, I was going to buy a house, it fell through, so now it's one of these things, it's something that the decision, I made it, it's done, you know. and you know, it's not a. I guess what I'm saying is, my decision making now is easier for me now than it was then. And being on by myself, you know, that makes it easier because I'm making determinations without involving other people or affecting other people's lives.
Interesting. Can you explain how you think how your thinking has changed during the last 10 years or so?
My thinking, my process of thinking.
Your process, yeah. Like it's also include like maybe some quality of personality a little bit change over the time also, like in that context.
You're saying decision making.
Not the decision making. It's like you think about something, like about some, let's say, problem or question, and is it the same or different right now? Like, you more calm or you more?
Well, I'm very methodical in the way I make decisions. So it's not that I'm more or less, it's more that now it's when I need to make a decision, my process of making that decision has changed. Sometimes I complicate it more, and sometimes I say, okay, it's not that important, and so I don't put a lot of emphasis on trying to solve it. If it's not important, let it go. If you don't have control over it, let it go, because you can't make a change. That's the way I go through it every day.
Social, emotional changes. We actually already start a little bit on it. How have friendship changed during the last 10, 15 years?
How have friendships changed? Well, that's difficult. That's a very difficult question, because in 15 years, I've lost at least 25 friends. So those friends are no longer around to.
Can't remember.
To interface with, spend time with, share things with, and so now the friends that I have in my life, it's either you're an acquaintance, you're a friend, or you're family. If you're a friend, you're a friend. So, okay, so those friends, I try and keep in touch with. I try and communicate with them. But there's a difference. I'm single, they're married, they have families. So it's a little more difficult because their kids are growing. But in general, I would say that the friendships that I have, they're more important to me. Because as you get older and people start passing, that pool of friends, and when I say friends, to me, friends is somebody that you can pick up the phone day or night, and they're going to be there for you when you need them. Acquaintances are just people that you meet on you've met, and you may play basketball, you may go fishing, you may do this, do that, but you don't have a close bond with them like you do with a real friend or family. So I look at it, I treat it a little differently, and the sincerity of the friendship and family is on a scale of 1 to 10. It's a 9 and a 10 for me. It's that important.
Okay. The next question is going to be about your value. Are your value changed as you age, and how?
Okay. My values. I'm old school. Whether it's it all goes back to family, the way I raised, because I had 13 aunts and uncles, and plus extended. Right now I have 75 first, second, and third cousins. Okay, and there's still I still have total 6 aunts and uncles that are alive. Okay, so talk about lapse of memory. Please repeat the
Okay, your values.
Okay, the values are the same. My values are the same. But I noticed that the values in this country and in the world have deteriorated. But my values are still steadfast. And as a person, I don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, if you don't have values that come from the heart and that you're going to live by and follow, then those are values that you'll easily break. It's like saying I do when you get married. You're making those are values. You're saying yes. Okay. So, or anything else that you commit yourself to. If you're committed to yourself and you're committed to who you are inside and your heart and and what you value in life, that hasn't changed in me.
Yeah.
Friends and family come first. And I wish I could say that the values of this country were still the same they were 20 years ago, but they're not.
Yes. The next question is, can you describe some of the most challenging aspects of aging which you experience over the last 10, 15 years?
The aging process is not kind. The aging process brings many challenges, physical, mental, emotional, because you realize things that when you were younger you had time to accomplish. As you get older, you don't have that time left that you thought to accomplish them. Okay, and the aging process, as you get older, the people that you knew or loved or family members, they've gotten older, and most of them aren't around anymore. And that has a lot to do with your mental state, the way you think about things, and that goes back to values again. The people of value in your life are disappearing, and you have to reevaluate the people that come into your life, and is it really, are they really there for a reason? So, for me, the aging process has given me a lot of wisdom. you know, about a lot of things. You know, when you're young, you don't think about death. You know, it's there, but you don't think about it. But as you get older, more and more people that you know, or no one, you know, like we've gone over already, they're gone. So that does make you think about the aging process and what's in store for you. You know, and you were asking me about cognitive memory. As you get older, some people are unfortunate. They start getting dementia or Alzheimer's at an early age. Fortunately, I haven't hit that, but I do have friends that are in institutions because if their wives or their husbands can't take care of them. So, you know, I look at these situations and I look at the people and how it's affected them, and the fact that, you know, these are people that I was friends with and I would see 4 to 5 times a week. I go up to them now and they don't know who I am. So the fact that I could possibly be in that position at some time in my life, it's not something I welcome. No, definitely not. You know, and the aging, the other thing with aging is, like I say, you know, your body, you know, if you don't take care of your body, it's wear and tear. And, you know, it's like an old tree. It can stand there in the wind, in a hurricane, when it's young, and stand and hold. As you get older, that thing's going to get, you know, that tree's going to wither and bend, and eventually it snaps. Well, it's the same thing with the human body and the human mind and personality, everything about it, you know.
We were talking just like about the personality. Do you feel your personality traits, are they change? Like, for example, the personality trait like such as openness or like this openness or
are you asking me as far as
communication?
Communication?
Yes.
I live by you know, an inner rule. My heart guides me, God guides me, and my personality, okay, I have found that as I've gotten older, my personality has changed, because I used to be a very short-tempered person that at times, if I didn't know you and you crossed me, it wasn't nice. You know, now, you know, I look at things, I go, everybody makes mistakes, just walk away from it. So yeah, my personality has calmed down. I've found a lot of the inner peace in what I do and the way I handle things. And it's one of these things where no matter how old you get, you always second guess what you're doing, and you say, and your personality, it really comes into play as far as the people that you associate with, the people that you have in your lives. You may not realize it, but they have a lot of effect on your personality. Because if you're hanging out with people that don't care about stuff, and you do, then your personality has a tendency to, I won't say be judgmental, but you'll try and walk away from the situations. you know, over
Mhm.
certain things.
Mhm.
But with people that I know, you know, my personality, oh, basically overall, my personality, I'm a much calmer and easier going person than I used to be.
How about the versus extrovert and introvert? Is it change or the same?
Extrovert and introvert. That sounds like getting caught between a rock and a hard place.
For example, describe yourself as a one of extrovert or introvert 10 years, like 20 years ago and right now.
I was never I think the only time I was an introvert was when I was still in my mother's womb.
Ah.
Once I came out, you know, I got a breath of fresh air and attitude. You know, those are the first two things you inhale when you're born in New York. So you know you get fresh air and you get attitude. And the whole thing is I've never been an extrovert. I've always been like middle. Because if you're an extrovert, you draw attention to yourself. Okay, if you're an introvert, then you shy away from so much stuff that you don't get involved. You don't put yourself out there in the world. I put myself out there in the world, but I don't do it flamboyant. You know, where I have to be center of attention. That's never been who I am. You know.
Okay, and I have one more question. Do you feel more confident over the last 10, 15 years?
Do I feel more comfortable and
confident?
Confident? That's difficult. That really is. Because it all depends on the situation that I'm dealing with. You know, 10, 15, 20 years ago, I figured by this point in my life I'd be married. Okay? At this point in my life, I wouldn't say I'm confident it's ever going to happen, you know, but then in other areas of my life that are important, I'm more confident about it. You know, it's difficult because every day you have to make challenges, and for a person to make challenges, you have to be confident at basically which direction you're going to go. So that's what I've done. I've changed my thought process. I've changed I won't say I changed it, but the things that were important to me then are more important to me now, the really important things. And so I'm confident in my direction. Whether I'm going to reach that, you know, that path, don't know. Don't know. It's a question I ask myself every day. You know, having been to war,
Yes.
okay, there are days that I question myself, what am I doing here? Okay, when I know family, you know, friends that have families and, you know, they've got 2, 3, 4 kids and they've got large families and they're my age or a little older and they've passed on. So, you know, my question is, why them and not me? But then I ask myself the same question when I start, you know, so my confidence, it's still there. You know, it's just a matter of the situation.
Yeah. And one more question. Overall, um, would you suggest to me? Like, because like we like about in the same, we are in the same group of agents, you and me. I'm on the bottom of that stage, you are on the top, but we are, you and me, we are in the same, almost in the same
Error. Oh, okay. All I can say is there's a 20-year difference between us. Okay. If you would come to me and say I'm dealing with this, or I'm dealing with, you know, whatever issues you're dealing with, I would give you guidance not to make, you know, to help you not make a mistake. Okay. But in the long run, you have to make your own decision. And it's very difficult, I should say, for me to tell you what way to go with your life or anything like that. I know you're not asking me that, but what I'm trying to explain is whatever you do, whatever decisions you make, or whatever ambitions or goals you set for yourself, make sure that that's really what you want, instead of wasting years of your life chasing something that once you get it, it's not what you want. You know, there are a lot of people that go to college, I see it all the time, they get degrees, and then they never use them. You know, and I go, and I ask them, what do you go to college for? Well, I wanted to be this, I wanted to do this. Well, you got your degree, why didn't you follow it? Well, I kind of changed my mind. You spent 6 years getting a master's or a bachelor's degree, you know, or a doctorate degree. You spent all that time going to school, and now you don't want to do it. And he says, well, you know, I had a change of heart, and that comes with age.
Yes.
What you think you want when you're younger changes with what you've dealt with in life and what the things that you're looking at for your future now. You know, none of us knew what we wanted to be when we were growing up. You know, and how many times have people change professions in their lives? You know, and you know, I've done everything from working as a chef, auto mechanic, licensed aircraft mechanic, licensed auto mechanic, been a chef, been restaurant owner, managed restaurants, been crewed for race teams. You know, I've done a lot of things in my life. I've been in 27 countries, and I can't look back and say I regret any of it, because it's all been a learning experience. And that there is something that each one of us has to face and make a decision about as we go along. Because I know I made decisions back in 40 years ago. And the decision I made then changed my whole life. I would not be where I am today. I would have been married. I would have had 4 kids by now. And so, you know, that made a big change in my whole life. It changed, and I mean my whole life, everything, relationships, you know, that I've had, you know, people I've known, places I've been. It all, you know, so every decision you make every day affects your life in one way or another. You know,
It's true.
we've all been through it. Some of us more than others, and you know, I don't. We are all, for what we go through in life as we go along. Hopefully, we learn from it and we become wiser. And that's, you know, that's all I can say. You know, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm intelligent. You know, I'm not really a. You know, I have a degree and stuff, but I've never been one for books. Me, all my learning and everything is by hand and mind. Seeing something being done, I can learn it in 2 seconds. Okay? There are some people, they are book smart. I'm street smart, and I'm smart as far as education in different fields. Okay? It's, you know, it's something that I think about, and I go, well, if I do this tomorrow to make a change, you know, what's the outcome going to be? And my analysis to the whole thing is, yesterday was yesterday. We had no control over changing it. Today is, well, you go along, you do the best, and tomorrow, if it shows up, you get up and face it, and that's it.
Yep.
You know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.